I come up with it makes sense. What's up, everybody? This is That Comic Show. This is your boy C. Sams.
They know, aka I'm Legend.
Yes, sir. And we are going to be talking about the movie that just dropped this weekend,
Spider-Man.
Homecoming. Finally, Spider-Man is back home in the MCU. I'm telling you, this movie, oh man, this movie did a great justice to a great character. And finally, we saw the movie that we have been waiting for, in my opinion, since Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
We've been waiting for a proper Spider-Man movie. I think this movie delivered in that.
Okay.
So,
I have to agree with you on that one. Spider-Man 2 was probably the best Spider-Man that we've seen thus far, and this one may have overtook it. I'm still...
Ooh. All right,
it could be a little bit even.
We'll get into it. So, there's only two of us tonight, but it's okay, because we're going to give you our thoughts, we're going to give you our pros, our cons, some speculations, and just to let you know, at this point, we are going headfirst into the spoilers territory. So, if you haven't seen this movie yet, pause, go watch this movie, come back 2.5 hours later, and then watch this with us. So that way you can see what we saw, and if you want, go down in the comments, talk about it with us. We'll definitely reach out and, we'll share our views, you share your views, and that's how this thing works, all right?
And make sure you wait till after the credits, both.
Okay, so let's talk about pros. Okay, now for pros. All right.
It's a long list. You want to do the cons first?
You want to go with cons first? Say your pros?
Yeah.
All right. So pros. Let's see. Opening of the movie. We are starting right where we left off when we left Spider-Man. If you saw Civil War, you would have known where Spider-Man was left off at. He was in his room. He had the little watch thing. He shined it up. He saw the whole entire icon of his mask, the Spider-Man mask. So we already know where he was and where he is. So we start this movie right there with Spider-Man in the thick of it. Now, I really like how they went back to, and remember, this is spoilers. I love how they went back to Avengers, and they showed the aftermath of what happened.
Yes.
That's one thing that it looks like the MCU is starting to do. It's starting to go back to the original Avengers and start to talk about all the aftermath, everything that happened. I thought that was awesome.
It was actually perfect where we see Vulture. Can we see?
Yeah, it's
Okay, yeah.
Vulture.
So we meet Vulture back when, like Corey said, Avengers 1. Now, one thing with this scene was, I'm sure you had questions too. This probably happened around 2008, 2009. Do we know the date of the Avengers?
This movie made me think, because I always thought that we're going by the year the movie came out. So,
yes.
Avengers came out 2012.
Yes.
The first Iron Man was 2008.
Yes.
So, in my mind, I'm like, all right, this had to be 2012. But in the beginning, it says 8 years later.
Let's answer the question.
Okay.
From what we know, Marvel Phase 1 took place all of within 1 to 2 years. So
Yes.
technically, that was still 2008, possibly 2009.
So
So a lot of people online have been saying, this doesn't make sense. Why does it say 8 years later? And it cuts to present day, Peter Parker going on with Civil War and things like that. Well, that's the answer. The first phase was first 2 years, 2008, 2009.
There you go. So Marvel put that theory to bed. Awesome job. Now, let's keep going on.
The second pro, right next to the next scene, we meet Vulture, got a quick sense of what he's about, his morals, his code, how he begins to build his suit. We don't see it in the beginning, but you kind of understand. You get to meet the Tinker, which is another Marvel character. Also, Shocker.
I like how they had the original guy was playing Shocker, and then it was like, because I remember I was watching, I was like, oh, they switching up on me. I thought it was, oh boy, he was a Shocker, but we see later on.
Each time somebody took the personnel of Shocker, they had like the yellow arms, the yellow jacket.
Yeah, the whole nine.
So that was,
I love how they did that.
That was pretty cool.
I love how they did that.
So we jump from that to Peter Parker actually during Civil War, where he has like a video.
Yeah, he has a GoPro. My man has a GoPro during the entire fight, and that whole thing makes sense.
It was amazing.
That whole thing makes sense. I love how, and we're seeing this all from the perspective of Peter
Parker.
Yeah. So, man, you know what? I'm just gonna go right into it. What I love is that this wasn't an origin movie. We're done with the origins. We've
Not
seen
one
the origins.
mention of Ben in this film.
Thank you. Not one mention of Ben Parker. Uncle Ben, nowhere to be found.
There was mention of sadness going on that happened with Aunt May, but they never actually said.
They never go into it.
So maybe it's Peter Parents this time. We don't know, or it was Uncle Ben.
Well, who can tell that
know.
Aunt May is really his aunt? Because he never calls her Aunt May. You can't tell May. That's all he says. Every time he says, it's right, it's true. If you look at that movie, he says the entire time, he always says, don't tell May, don't tell May. He never says, don't tell Aunt May. We make the assumption that that's his aunt. Tony made the assumption that that's his aunt. But he never says, hey, Aunt May. So that's food for thought. So who to tell who this person could be? We don't know. See, this movie did a great job in creating more questions to get you more excited for what's coming next. Because a lot of things that we thought would be answered were not answered. So, what are the pros?
The suit. Let's talk about, what's her name? Karen?
Karen? Oh, yeah.
It's like a whole new character in itself.
Exactly. I mean, it seemed like she was coming on to Peter in certain parts. I was just like, yo, what's going on in this guy's suit?
But the suit AI was crazy. Like, the things it could do is crazy. Like the death mode, the one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one part. Can you stop going to death mode? It's like, it was straight, all right, no fighting, straight kill. I mean, yes,
interrogation mode.
Interrogation mode. I mean, yes, it's a little bit of a dissension from the classic Spider-Man, but if you're looking at it from a Marvel Universe perspective, it makes all the sense in the world, because this is a world that's truly changed because of what Tony Stark did back in 2008. Everything has changed, and everything that he did is a callback to Age of Ultron. When he saw his vision, he said, look, this is the path that I put us on. I started all this. He feels responsible for everything that has ever happened. And in part, he is responsible for everything that's happened so far because of what he did.
Speaking of quotes, sorry to go past Karen?
Yeah.
Karen, real quick. Tony Stark's in this film was amazing as well.
Yes.
And this is how characters should be, because I don't think he's not getting a new film anytime soon. Most likely he's not.
No.
He did his trilogy, that's fine, but you want to still see him in the universe.
Yes.
And he progressed, and I'm passing all the way up to the boat scene. So on one scene, Peter Parker is saving everybody from boat. He's trying his hardest, doing all.
And this was in the commercials. This was everything. Yeah.
So he tried to save the boat, couldn't do it. Tony Stark's coming in. Alright, I'm gonna do this. Alright, boat saved.
Yeah.
So it shows you the difference between Spider-Man at his level, where he's at, and how big Iron Man is, and how a genius he is. And Spider-Man is a genius of his own right, but Tony Stark is on a different level. Yeah.
And just to piggyback off of that, I used this example when I was giving my own review. I said that a lot of people had a problem with Tony Stark being in the movie because they would say, "Oh, this is Iron Man 4" and yada yada yada. The way I look at it, I love Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms is one of my most favorite cereals. But for me to have a perfect bowl of Lucky Charms, that has to be the actual cereal, and there has to be enough marshmallows in the cereal.
Oh, of course.
So if I don't have any marshmallows in the cereal is still good, but it doesn't have that extra to it.
That sweetness.
Yes. I think Iron Man was just enough. We didn't see Iron Man in every scene, but we did see why Iron Man will be so involved in what Spider-Man is doing in his evolution and becoming an actual superhero.
And to tell you the truth, it looks like Iron Man was more in the trailers than the actual film. In the trailers, you see him all over, but in the film, he wasn't in there. Hardly there. So.
And granted, that could have been just a market ploy to try to get more people to see it, to try to give the dissension that, hey, listen, this is Marvel's Spider-Man and not Sony's Spider-Man. But I did like how they gave a little nod to Sony in the very beginning when they're walking to the, I guess it's the triathlon or whatever thing they were doing. I was looking at the little billboard and they had Audi on it and they had Sony on it. Yes, I drive an Audi, so this gave me nothing but joy. But I saw the little thing that said Sony. I was like, look at that, Sony, you got your little nod. But this was clearly a Marvel movie. Yes, Sony is a part of it because they still own the rights. If you didn't know, Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man. However, they created a joint partnership for the next 5
They
movies or
signed
so.
a Marvel Save a Character deal.
Yeah, Marvel saved the character deal.
They saved the character
what
from
he
these
did.
deal.
And that's what we got. We got Spider-Man for a few movies, and I'm thrilled. Like,
And it's a grounded Spider-Man. Like with
Yes.
this film, even Vulture was saying a couple times, we want to make enough noise where we don't have to worry about the Avengers. We don't have to worry about Tony Stark.
Mhm.
So the whole time, it was a low level, grounded. I think the villains were perfect for intro of this Spider-Man.
yes, and what they were doing, they had for me, I felt as though the villains had every right to be who they were because they were hard workers. They were just trying to feed their families, and all of a sudden, y'all told that y'all fired without any warning or no severance, nothing. And it's like, yeah, I would be pretty upset too. And if I had the ability to make weapons and sell them on the black market, yeah, it's not the best thing to do to make money, but hey, this is what y'all forced me into a corner. This is the corner I'm going to go into. I can appreciate that.
And another pro, we're seeing Peter Parker in the natural habitat of high school.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of high school scenes. The previous Spider-Mans, what was it? Tobey Maguire's probably in high school once.
They were
before he went to
already a
college.
senior. Yeah, they were both seniors, like graduating high school.
This one's a sophomore.
He's a I love it. When he said that he's a sophomore, we already know, okay, you're a sophomore. That means we have sophomore year, junior year, and senior year to be with this Spider-Man. And you know they're going to go, if they did Homecoming, I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the second movie, but I already know the last movie has to be Spider-Man Graduation. It has to be. And if it's not, then I don't know. But I feel as though that's what it is.
And skipping kind of to the end where
Yes.
Peter Parker turned down Tony Stark to actually join the Avengers. This matches the comics.
Yes.
Spider-Man always wanted to be part of the Avengers. We had his chance.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do it. Always like working alongside of him. He always was his own person, his own character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was great when he turned Tony down.
I'm gonna keep it so real with you guys. When I saw that, I was like, Iron Spider-Man. I was getting so excited.
Iron Spider-Man suit.
I thought that was gonna happen, but you know what? I was fine with that not happening because that has to come. But I love that whole thing because that's who Spider-Man was, and they also did a pretty good nod to the Civil War comic when Spider-Man actually stepped out and he revealed himself. It was during a press conference, and that's what they were about to do, a press conference where he was just going to come out and say, hey, I'm Spider-Man, I'm the newest member of it. And they didn't do it. So you're starting to see everything that Marvel has been doing, everything Marvel has been planning. It's a joy to sit and watch this.
A quick pro.
Yeah.
Potts is back with Tony. I think that was good because you don't like that?
When we get to Khan, I'm gonna talk about my reasons for why.
I believe that is okay. We will wait till later. I believe that's a pro because what we've seen Tony like without Potts, and it's horrible. He becomes a worse person. But I think
With
him
Potts?
joining back with Potts.
Okay. I'm gonna give my opinion. I'm not gonna discredit that. I think that's a pretty good.
That was a good pro.
I think that's a good pro.
Okay, and we mentioned the Iron Spider-Man suit at the end that Peter didn't take. I wish he would at least.
It looked like, but it wasn't. It
wasn't red and gold, but
yeah, but you could tell it was kind of ironish.
it was an upgrade to what he
It
had.
was an upgrade to what he had.
And this suit was amazing.
Yes. And the reveal of it was just, it got people excited. I was excited. I was shaking. There was another pro that I saw. Now, if you guys didn't know, and you should know, Avengers Infinity War comes out May 2018. We've been talking about this. This is the big movie that's coming out. 10 years of the MCU, all leading up to this particular movie. Now, when Happy was loading the things onto the carrier, he started mentioning something.
One thing, another pro. Happy's back.
Go ahead.
Oh,
yeah, Happy back. That's always a pro. And John Favreau, he came through. He was spectacular. I loved every part he was in. That part. Now we're hearing Happy talk about some of the things that are being loaded on, and I was getting excited because he was telling us what we're going to see in Infinity War. He said Thor's belt. So now we have to do a little bit of research. What is Thor's belt? What's that all about? What is this belt
Can
for?
you say the name? I can't.
Can you say
Jordan or I don't know how to say it.
I don't know what that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. He also said Captain America's prototype shield, his new shield. So we don't know. Now, granted, the last time we saw Captain America, he dropped the shield and he was out. So he could have been in the comics.
What we know from Thor, he lost his hammer. And
Thor lost his hammer. So
Hulk lost his mind. That's another one. So it looked like all the Avengers have lost something.
Exactly, and it looked like Tony was building new stuff. He also said that there was an upgrade to the Hulkbuster. So the Hulkbuster has an upgrade. We don't know what that's going to look like. So it's so many different things that we were given in that small little scene, and this is a callback to what Marvel does so spectacular. They know how to plant little seeds into what we're doing and what we're watching. So now we have to go home and do this, talk about it, speculate, because we don't know what to expect. Any other pros?
Let's see. Oh, Danny Glover's character. His nod to Miles Morales. Oh, bro.
Yes.
Bro. So when you first meet Danny Glover, I forgot his name in the actual movie, but
yeah, I forgot his name.
People know Danny Glover. Everybody wanted Danny Glover to actually be Miles Morales.
Yes,
because he has this type of look. I don't really see it, but okay. But anyway, it seems like that's gonna be Miles Morales' uncle, actually.
Yeah, he said my nephew. He said my nephew lives in this neighborhood.
He also can I have some climbers or something in the truck? And he goes forward right before Peter Parker jumps in.
I mean, come on now, they're literally throwing everything to us.
So I love that reference.
There was also a reference to Venom. I think it wasn't a mention as to say, well, this is coming, but it was kind of like a nod to if you remember the Dark Knight Rises at the end where John Blake, the character that Jordan Gordon-Levitt was playing, he gave her the card. He said, "Oh, Robin." It was a nice nod to the character. They did another thing like that in this movie where it was like I think it was a part where Peter's friend, I forget his friend's name, big dude, he kept asking him questions like, "Do you do this? Do you do that?" He said, "Do you spit venom?" He was like, "I don't think so. Not that I know of." And for them to just say that is like, this movie got you. For me, it made me even more excited for what's going to happen with Spider-Man.
We do have to understand that Sony owns Spider-Man characters. Is not.
Yeah.
It's not official that Venom will be part of.
Even though they've been saying they already got Tom Hardy to play it, we don't know if he will be in it. So we're gonna have to see how this all plays out.
Hopefully, because it makes no sense to have Venom without Spider-Man.
I'll be so real with you. I believe if this Spider-Man movie cracks $1 billion in the box office, Sony's gonna give Marvel yes.
Save my character, please.
Yes, save my character. Here, this is what we have. Do what you want to do with them, because it only makes sense. There was another pro. Now, there was the principal in this movie. A lot of people were making a lot of fun of this character and this particular actor because he's the same guy from Captain America: The First Avenger.
He was Commandos.
Yes, he's part of them. So a lot of people were making fun, like, hey, it's the same actor. And then even in the scene where Peter was talking to him, you see in the background a picture of, you have to believe it's his grandfather, his great grandfather. But that right there, put all that to bed. That's why you can have the same character play those two roles, because technically he played a role of a character 60, 70, 80 years ago. So yes, you would look like your grandfather. See how subtle Marvel did that? He just dropped it like, I got the connection. So there you go. This movie did a great job in connecting a lot of stuff from the past, the present, and the future all in one. And they made it seem like Spider-Man was always part of the universe. Exactly. Like he was never not part of the universe. They made it seem like he was part of it the whole time.
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense. We saw no Green Goblin, no Hobgoblin.
Thank God.
We saw none of that stuff. No Uncle Ben. Like
Mary Jane wasn't kidnapped.
No Mary Jane. Nothing. Not even. Oh man.
But let's do a pro. I like the new MJ character. There is an MJ in this universe, but her name is Michelle Jones.
You know what? She was bothering me throughout the show because she was everywhere. Everywhere that Peter was, she was. But I was like, you know what? They're going to drop something special with her. And when she said, you know what, yeah, they call me MJ, I was like,
And the whole time she was saying Michelle, Michelle. I'm trying to think back, like who is Michelle in the Marvel universe? I never heard of
no
Michelle.
But this is see, this movie is. This is how I look at it. The Spider-Man that we know is from Tobey Maguire. That movie came out in 1999, I believe. 98, 99. So for us, we were teenagers back then, so that was our Spider-Man. And the guys who read the comics, who read the comics back in those days, that was their Spider-Man. This Spider-Man is this generation's Spider-Man. Because it connected to everything that you kids go through on a day-to-day basis. I can't relate because I'm a man, so I'm not a kid anymore in high school. So this truly related to these to the characters and to what you guys know now as kids. So I thought that was great how they did that. Definitely. I thought that was great. Oh man, there's so many pros. The fight at the end. It was no epic boss battle. Nothing like that. It was just, and the twist. Before we get to that, the twist.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. Yes, let me go with that one.
Go ahead.
Twist.
Go ahead.
So the whole time Peter Parker is in love with this girl named Liz, as you guys see in the trailers or in the movie. Hopefully you guys seen it. And when the day of the homecoming dance, when Peter goes to pick her up, who answered the door but Vulture himself, Michael Keaton.
Now some people may have seen that coming.
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming at all. I was like,
and you know what? The fear in Peter Parker's eyes was the same fear I had. I'm like, oh, yeah, get out of here. Not only is this her father, this is Vulture. Exactly. She's over your butt the whole film.
I love how they did that. And even on the ride there, and when he started to put together the pieces, it's another callback to Tobey Maguire, the first one, where Osborn actually figured out that Peter was Spider-Man, and he just used little subtle things to really figure that out. And Liz was just throwing him under the bus.
Snitching.
Hard body.
Peter's like,
he was like, yo, hey, watch the tape. You was going to watch the tape. You was going for my party. It was just like,
you wasn't in the elevator.
Yo. That whole elevator scene too, that entire sequence.
And then like every father, he took out the gun.
Yo, my man had the gun. Yo, my man had the gun, had the piece on him. I can't.
Okay.
I can't. And he said, yo, I'm giving you a chance. When I give you a chance, say thank you. He was like, thank you.
Michael Keaton give you a chance.
Yo, you gotta say thank you.
Take that chance.
But I thought that was great. And even at the end, when everything was said and done, it was a classic Spider-Man ending. You see the villain, and the villain, he was beaten by his own selfishness because he saw those arc reactors, and he said, you know what, I'm leaving with something. And Peter was trying to save him, but he couldn't. But he didn't kill him, which was great. So we seen Vulture sitting there tied up, and you see a little sign on there, I found the Vulture flying guy thing, Spidey. Oh, you could not have loved this movie anymore. It was perfect.
Great movie.
It was perfect. Man.
Right,
what are the pros we have?
His whole cast, the new Flash, which represents a new type of bully, I guess you want to say. He wasn't the 34-year-old late
dad in high school. He was a regular dude on the same level as Peter.
That just had a lot of money.
Yeah, he was flashing it,
and he knows how to DJ. So usually, if you have money, know how to DJ.
He was called him Penis Parker. Penis Parker. I was like, come on, dude. Why are you singling out Parker out of everybody? But this was good. This is good.
But when you see his life in high school, you realize why, because he has the spot on the debate team that Parker was a part of. I get it. I don't know. Parker took out one of the top girls in the school. I guess he couldn't get it.
I guess so. He was jealous.
He was a little jealous
because he has everything going for him, and
he has his Audi.
Yo, let me just sidetrack real quick because I'm an Audi guy. So Peter takes Flash's Audi. I guess it was a TCRS, I believe. And he's driving it. He's like, this is the first time I'm driving. He was like, yo, how you turn on the headlights? And I was saying in my mind, oh, it's to the left. To the left of the... Like, come on, man, turn the knob clockwise. I was saying that to myself, and as soon as I said that, his boy was like, yeah, to the left clockwise. I was like, I'm like, yes, they did the research. I love it. Ah, man. All right, so I ain't got no more pros, man. Other than that, this movie was near flawless for me. Near flawless.
All the characters was amazing. Another pro I like, Aunt May at the end catching Peter Parker with the Spider-Man costume.
With the Spider-Man costume.
And the last words before it cuts off. What the?
And then we. All right, so we're gonna talk about some cons. This guy said he don't got no cons, but I got one con.
Oh, I got a con, but
Okay.
It's not that bad.
All right, I'll keep it real. At the end, when Pepper Potts showed up, that killed it for me. I was like, I don't need to see Pepper Potts. I was good. See, Iron Man 3 came out 2012, 2013, I think. That movie made me so upset because at the end, Pepper Potts saved the day. And I don't like her character. I only liked her character in the first Iron Man. The second, she was annoying. Third, she got worse. And when I was told in Captain America in Civil War that they're no longer together, I was like, thank you, Jesus. I don't need to see her no more. Great. And then she gonna show up. And I was like, why are you here? Like,
well, maybe Marvel will give us a one shot of why she's there, but you gotta understand this is a continuing universe, so things happen. And like I said earlier, Iron Man is not gonna get another movie most likely. So how they got back together, you may never know. But they're back together, and I think it's great. And as you see, Happy took out the ring that he's been holding for 8 years.
Okay, so you know what? When I saw that part, when he threw the ring at Tony and, you know, a big announcement, I was like, darn you. Because I was like, I don't want to see you no more. But then again, I'm intrigued. All right, what happened? What took place as to why she's cool again with Tony and Pepper is back together, and if he proposes. I had to look, all right, well, did he propose to her in the comics? And that's one thing I have not done proper research on. So if you've done it already, leave a comment below. Let us know if that's what happens in the comics. But
if you even think that's a con, leave a comment below. Personally, I think that's great.
I didn't want to see Pepper. I was through with Pepper. But
now after that, pro, my con was.
I like how you said that's my pro. Shocker?
Shocker was my con. Not
because he didn't have the mask.
Not the Shockers. I like how they did it. Because in this film, there's two Shockers. One looked like Tom Hardy, but they had to get killed.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought
he looked too much like Tom Hardy. I'm like,
but you know something? That could be something that they're trying to throw at us. You never know.
Vulture kills him. Maybe Venom is. That's gonna be the theories. But the con was he only had one. He only had one fist. He only trying to hit Spider-Man with a jab. He ain't Tyson. He can't do that.
Yo.
I mean, if he had two fists.
The Shocker that I remember always used to do this.
Exactly.
That used to be his thing. Whenever he used to put on his things, boom, he needs to do it with two hands.
This one,
yeah, he was just one-handing it. Like
I didn't like that.
All right, yeah.
But if you're gonna have two villains in the film, that's the way to do it. 2 or 3 villains, however you want to.
I agree.
A couple other villains that we'll get to our theory section.
I agree.
But you don't want to be like Spider-Man 3, where there's so many villains.
A million
have
villains.
All these origins, and it's like
I don't need to see all that. And you know what, Marvel? This is it's not a con, but it's a con for a lot of people. But it's slowly becoming a pro, in my opinion. The villains. A lot of people always say how Marvel does a crap job when it comes to the villains. The last few movies that they've done with the villains, they have been changing that perspective because they have showed villains who have a backstory, who has real gripes with whatever issue they're going through, has a real reason as to why they want to be the villain that they want to be. And then they go ahead and follow through. And then they get beat. And most times they get beat because of themselves.
Except for Zemo. It looks like Zemo's plan actually worked.
Zemo's plan actually worked. And maybe Zemo was the guy to kick off this new turn for us as comic book characters to really feel involved in it. And I say comic book characters because let's keep it real. We're all comic book characters. So this is the Hulk, obviously. And I'm this mild-mannered Spider-Man. Nah, but all honesty, I think that Marvel is doing a great job with their villains. They're turning that con that a lot of people have about their villains to pros. So
I like the villains.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with them, but I mean, people do.
Any other cons? That was pretty short. I told you.
Yeah, that was gonna be short. I had no con. Besides that one part,
maybe the after
I
credit
wasn't really
scene.
bothered with Shock.
Maybe the second after credit
Let's talk about it.
That's a
Let's
con.
talk about it.
Man.
That was a straight con. Straight con. Oh my gosh.
So all through this film, I might as well tell you guys if you didn't see the film. Hey,
Do it.
All through this film, we getting little videos of Captain America addressing the classroom, saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm Captain America."
In
One of
his
those
old
cheesy,
uniform,
in his whole uniform.
We get it, man.
Those cheesy one-liners, things like, "Hey, do this. Make sure you brush your teeth, discipline, and things of that man."
All that nonsense. We get it.
And we waited after credits to see him come back out with the white screen behind him, saying patience.
And we was sit in the movie theaters. There was at least, I want to say there was at least 10 of us. You know, you get the normal people who leave afterwards. They don't stick around.
Must think it's a DC.
I don't know. Must. Come on,
And you get the people that stay after the first credit scene.
Yep, and then you have those people who stay to the very end. Us. And we sat there, and Captain America comes on and talks about patience. How being patient is such a great thing, and such a great virtue, and blah, 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 blah. You're thinking that something special is coming at the very end of a 15-minute wait, and you get nothing. Yeah, nothing. And he's like, how much I have to do? I was like, word? Yo, I was hot. I was hot. Man, I was trying to forget about that, but yeah, that was a huge con.
That was a con.
I mean, it was like
It was funny.
Yeah, I was funny. I was like, yo, I'm so mad at them. But
Don't do it again, please.
Yeah, don't do that again. Don't do that again. We get it. Ha we Nah,
we learned our patience. We're good.
We're good. There was another thing that I saw that I won't say is I don't know if it's a con.
We're in the con section.
We're in the con section. Yeah, you know what? This is half a con. Can I do half a con?
Go ahead.
All right, Deadpool. Deadpool did this at the end of the movie with the credits. A lot of it reminded me of Deadpool. A lot of the sketchy type of looks and the sketchy type of things. I was like, yeah, this is cool, but dang it, Deadpool did it first. So it kind of killed that vibe. It kind of killed the vibe for me.
They're all one family.
But that was the one thing that was the other part of that why I gave it a half a con, because I was like, you know what? Spider-Man and Deadpool, recent comics, they've been pretty buddy-buddy. So that makes sense for them to do that. I was like, okay, that's cool. I was like, I could have did without it, but whatever.
I mean, one of them, they chopping off heads and doing all type of.
The other one, this is why I have to give it a half a con as well. During the credits, you saw a sketch of Venom. I don't know if you guys noticed it. There was this, you know what? I might be going into the theories. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna save that for the theories. But we good?
We're good.
All right. My number one theory is what we're gonna see at Avengers: Infinity War. We're gonna see the Iron Man related or the Iron Spider suit. We're definitely gonna see that. I think the suit that we saw was just a tease. I think that suit is actually going to become the Iron Spider suit. I think that Thor is going to get a new belt, and I think that belt is going to be able to carry all of the new weapons that he gets for Ragnarok. I think the prototype shield that we're talking about for Captain America, I think it's going to still look like his original shield, but I think that could be given to someone else. That's my theory on that. And the Hulkbuster, the new Hulkbuster, I think that suit is going to be built for all the members of the team. I think that Tony is going to build that suit for all the members so that they have to face Thanos. That's my theory. Mano, what's yours?
So, during this film, we see Happy working with Tony Stark. You know, they're moving out their Stark Tower, or the Avengers Tower, as what you call it. So my theory is, who's going to own that tower now? And there's two people that can own it. Well, two entities, I should say. One, Oscorp. This is the perfect way to bring them on into the Marvel Universe.
Wait a minute. I think I know what the second one is. I think I know what the second one is.
No. You had your chance. It's my turn. Second one. So, since Sony signed the Save a Character Marvel deal, why not Fox sign the Save the Captain Marvel deal and bring the Fantastic Four into fruition? So that's my theory. Fantastic Four in the Marvel Universe, they have their own tower now. It needs renovations, and we're good.
Salty right now, but you know what? They still have the Baxter building. That's where they are. So we need to see some type of explanation for the Baxter. He over there dancing. Look at him. Look.
I won this one. I got the best theory. That was dope, right?
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. Dang it.
Fox signed that deal. Save a character.
Alright, fine. Alright, man. Now, after that little debacle, clearly he won with the theories. His theory is the best. But we're not talking about theories no more. We're talking about the rating. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, or whatever you want to call it. My grading for this movie is definitely a solid 9 out of 10. Solid 9 out of 10. And the only reason why I dropped it at one point is, like I said in my cons, Pepper Potts showing up. At the end, it kind of made it more about Tony. And they were doing such a good job in not making it all about him, but it kind of left it with Tony, and I didn't too like that part. And that stupid Captain America thing at the end, man. That was stupid.
That was okay.
That's what killed it for me. But 9 out of 10, solid.
Overall rating, same as his. We agree for once. 9 out of 10.
Look at that.
Not because of the pot situation, because of the Shocker situation with him having only one glove. I still don't like it.
That was stupid.
It was real stupid. It didn't make sense to me. But everything else, the characters, the plot, everything was good. This was a great film. Probably the best, or tied at the best Spider-Man ever.
I was going to ask you that question, and I'm going to pose this question to both of us and to you guys out there. Now, we have Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and Spider-Man Homecoming. So, out of those 6 movies, Spider-Man movies, 3 different actors, where do you put this particular Spider-Man movie?
At the top, of course.
Number
At
1.
the top, tied with Spider-Man 2. You gotta understand,
Spider-Man
Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 2 is still the best Spider-Man villain we've seen on screen. Even Vulture was great in this one, but Dr. Octopus set that movie apart. So, like I said, it's a tie. I mean, it's up there, but I will have to say this Peter Parker and this Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man I've ever seen. The Tobey Maguire, I won't say hate, I didn't like him as Spider-Man. I didn't like him as Peter Parker, but he was there, he was in the film, and we got a 30-year-old character playing Parker, so.
This is the way I see it. Tobey Maguire was the Spider-Man of the 60s. That's how comic book was written back in those days. Nerdy, geeky type of guy. That's who Spider-Man.
You nerdy and geeky and at least funny. He wasn't even funny.
Yeah, he wasn't that funny. I mean, yeah, he wasn't that funny.
Not funny at all.
Andrew Garfield was the Spider-Man of kind of like the steampunk, like type of, yeah, I'm kind of emo, but I'm not, and I'm cool, but I'm a nerd, but then again, I'm still cool as a nerd.
Truly, I like his Spider-Man better than Tobey Maguire.
I thought that
I just didn't like the movies better than Tobey Maguire movies.
I thought Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was a better Spider-Man, but I thought Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield was a better Peter Parker. Tom Holland, though, I think Tom Holland is the best of both worlds. Best of both worlds. Yeah, we don't want to. No, we're not getting into that. Best of both worlds. Tom Holland is a kid playing a kid who's a kid in this real. How could you not put that together? He's literally, I think he just turned 21. But when he was filming this, he was 19. He's a kid. And this is what we need to see. A kid playing a kid in a kid movie. So, yeah.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Go see this movie. If you haven't seen it already, this is why we're here. This is why we're doing this. Go see this movie.
Even though we spoiled it for you, you can still go see it. It's still a great film.
Like I said in the beginning, pause it, go see the movie, come back, and see what we're talking about. But, once again, this is your boy C. Sams.
May know, a.k.a. I Am Legend.
This is That Comic Show, and we out.
Peace.